No, I was just saying, but to a woman to in a relationship aspect, we understand having masculine traits because obviously a man can be feminine and a woman can be masculine. So obviously it doesn't define; it's just traits. So we could just
Right.
right. So we and you said this before. Obviously, having masculine traits in the workforce is beneficial. Being super competitive, courageous. Very like you said, competitive, courageous, independent, disagreeable, these traits that are masculine work in the workforce to advance. But when
Yeah.
it comes down to the relationship, having those same traits, your male and your female counterparts having those same traits is toxic. Like
Yes.
it's toxic. It can't have those same traits. Like you almost have to come from work and cut it off. Like if
Yes.
you're a woman that has a leadership role at work, you gotta take it when you come home, you gotta cut that off. It's like you're gonna have to cut that part off, stop the independent, the giving orders and telling the person what to do and all that. It's not gonna work in the home environment for most A-type man, alpha males. How about that? We'll just say out. It might work for a beta type of male, but really you don't want that anyway. So let's just be real. Most women
Yeah.
don't.
They think they want that.
Like you said, they're hypergamous. They don't want a beta. They want to date an
Yeah.
alpha guy. So that's not gonna work. So the guy that you really want won't work if you don't learn how to embrace your femininity. So why is it that a woman wants to be more masculine, but yet men don't want to be more feminine? And
Yeah.
I don't get it, bro. I can't process that. I don't wake up in the morning like, you know what? Let me become more feminine. But y'all have no problem becoming more masculine.
The Overton window of the definition of being a feminist has changed over time. The first wave feminists, their ideology was, okay, women's rights to vote, women's rights to a fair work environment and pay. Those were the focus on first wave feminists. But now over time, second and third wave feminists have wrapped their focus on micropolitics, which is just like social aspects of dominating feminism within a society. So one thing I'll add is we can describe traits as masculine traits, feminine traits, but to be more exact, it's better to say traits that are more masculine, traits that generally are associated with masculinity and traits that are generally associated with femininity, because these traits
like social
could have switched or been changed depending on evolution, or to label it a male trait or a female trait is to say that it could have never been different at any situation or any point in life. That so they're not inherently masculine or inherently feminine traits. They're traits that most masculine men adopt, or it's a trait that most female individuals adopt.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Like you said, any gender could be either one. You can have either trait any given time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like you were saying, generally, like a lot of women right now are trying to adopt traits that are masculine,
but they're still females. Yeah,
but they're still females.
Right.
Essentially trying to mimic behavior, and a lot of that. To add to that, a lot of women believe that in order to succeed, they need to be more like men. And that's the problem. That is a huge problem. Say that again.
You think that's instinctive, though?
I don't think that's instinctive on a level that is instinctive that we need to breathe or we need to eat food. No, I don't think it's instinctive that way. But has it become more of an unconscious way of life for females, depending on their environment or who they've been subjected to or how they've been subjugated? I do believe that. One thing I'll say, like I see all the time, and just from things I've noticed from women is that, or single women, I've noticed a lot will say things like, I'm gonna make sure my daughter gets a proper education so she'll never need something from a man. So things like that are negative implications to a young woman's mind, to
Yes.
over time, she's going to look at men as a tool of some sort, not a need. Not I need a man to have a nice, healthy relationship and family, and he's going to provide benefit to me that I can't provide to myself. It's no, a man is a tool maybe to pay my rent or to take care of
Yeah,
me,
and we're
or
more
he's a
than just
tool.
finances and resources. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you're more
Yes,
than just finances and resources. That's a slap in the face to think that's all we bring to the table.
but see, to me, and obviously this behavior it's prevalent amongst uh, white Caucasian families, but it's also prevalent a lot within the minority community, and it is a result of broken families and broken environments.
There you
To
go.
tell the young woman, or the young woman especially, that you don't need a man, because
Yeah.
difference is, we know the implications of how young men are affected without a father, but the implication of a young girl coming up without a father is that you don't need a man. That's how you make a young woman cope with the fact of not having a father in her life. You don't need a man. You get aggressive, because I remember dating a young woman before who didn't have a father, and she typically didn't have men in her life that were there to take care of her and the children that she had. So I remember she would discipline her daughters very hard, and I used to think to myself, like, Dan, don't you think you're going kind of hard on your? And she says, well, I have to be the mother and the father. So there's a lot of these implications, like before, for example, before segregation, uh, minority families were very healthy in
Traditional.
forms of it, yeah, very traditional in forms of men and men and women in having a clean, healthy family and raising children. But then when segregation happened, and the indoctrination from Lyndon B. Johnson and expanding the welfare state, it has, taught minorities to, it's okay to be broken families and to get on welfare and father absence. So uh, that indoctrination in of way of life and thinking, with men not being in the household of young women growing up, the ideology is you don't need a man. What do you need a
Yeah,
man for?
but